Well, as we've been hearing today at this conference, if you have a strong professional accountancy organisation, then you're going to be able to produce very strong accountants, and we know that they're very good for economies and communities. So we wanted to make sure that we had a way of engaging with professional accountancy organisations, especially perhaps new ones starting to form early on, or certainly not as mature as they may wish to be within their own country, to provide them with some guidance and tools as to how they can actually develop further, improve and mature, and become a good, strong, sustainable professional accountancy organisation. When we started working on this, we actually came up with 16 elements, and we've actually documented all of that in a publication of the maturity model. 16 elements fits nicely around a pie as well, a pie chart. And what we found with that is professional accountancy organisations are very focused on what's called some statements of membership obligations, which is to become a member of the global accountancy body, IFAC. And whilst adherence to international standards of accounting, auditing, education, ethics and the code of conduct, matters of quality assurance, in investigation and discipline, whilst they're all very important, there's a number of other elements as well which are just as important to ensure you get a sustainable and strong professional accountancy organisation. So we wanted to make sure we picked up those other elements as well. So in fact, of the 16, I think it's only 7 of them which are focused directly on statements of membership obligations, which means there's a large number of them as well which are focused on other particular matters. And we sort of group those matters together around some key headings such as sustainability, relevance, professionalism and member value. And we believe professional accountancy organisations need to be strong in all of those areas if they're to achieve what it is they want to do within their own countries. It takes each of these 16 elements, and let me give you some examples as to what they are. So, for example, a professional accountancy organisation needs strong governance, it needs strong management and infrastructure, it needs to be good around advocacy and influence to engage with governments. And you know, that's some of those other elements which aren't covered around international standards, if you will. So it takes each of those elements and it starts to look at some of the characteristics, or we call them attributes, that you would see in each of those areas within a PAO. And we've set them out in a table ranging from effectively level 1 to level 5. And level 1 is what you might see in a new and emerging PAO. So very often, for example, based around volunteer resources, there may not even be any paid management involved within that organisation. They're taking continuing professional education from any sources that are willing to give it to them. They don't have the resources to build their own. So that would be a sort of a level 1 view. Through to a level 5, where you've got very mature, very large, substantial professional accountancy organisations such as a CIPFA, who would be seen to be strong in many of those areas because they have the resources, they have the systems, the processes in place, and they have all of those sorts of elements covered off. And the way it's set up on that 1 to 5 allows the organisation to undertake a self-assessment. So what we would ask them to do is go through all of those 16 elements and actually do an assessment as to where you believe you are today. And you're able to do that by looking at those characteristics and attributes which paints a picture of the organisation and says, yeah, I can recognise that, so we've got that and that, but we haven't got this and that, therefore that puts us about a level 2. And then you can say to yourself, where do we want to be? What's our desired state? And therefore, in that particular area, you might want to get to those characteristics within a level 4, for example. And so you're able to form an action plan which gets you from level 2 to level 4 and improve and strengthen in that particular area. And that will vary for different PAOs as well. They're not all the same. They all have different inherent sort of structures and environments that they come from, dependent upon the nature of the country, for example, the nature of the legal system there. And so we've tried to build a model to allow some flexibility to pick up that there are different types of PAOs around as well. So by doing the self-assessments, we ask individuals, and my suggestion to them as well is that they get a group of people together, of management, of councils, of boards, of members, and perhaps reach some consensus around where they think they're at and where they would like to go to. And so when we were producing this, we pilot tested it with countries such as Samoa, Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea. All of those are still developing as PAOs. As we actually finalised the document, we've now run the workshops with Vietnam, with Philippines and with Myanmar. So the document's only been out there for about 12 months now, and in fact we're going back to Papua New Guinea in August, and we'll be running the workshops again with a number of the Pacific Island countries.